We're going to be doing a segment called Top 3 Fixes, 40K Big FAQ Edition. And we're going to be covering 3 major points that we discussed earlier. First one on deck, we're just going to go in the order that they came to us. They just popped in the old head in this particular order. Deep Strike Beta Fix. We have proposed 2 ways, potentially, which would be, I'm going to summarize it and then I'm going to turn it over to Juice. Take away all loopholes or entirely repeal it, because it's no longer a beta, it's real life. Juice, what made the final cut on Deep Strike?
So when we break it down, there's only 1 or 2 true winners of this, because everybody is a loser unless you are a Zangor that has the what relic, Kenny?
Dark Matter Crystal. It's a relic that the Thousand Suns have access to.
It's basically the Dark Matter Crystal and Unobtainium are the 2 things in the universe that matter. One makes all blue people really strong, and one makes everyone else be able to deep strike and swing at you turn 1.
Yeah, for the sake of just accuracy, the Dark Matter Crystal is a relic. You put it on a dude. It says either the dude or any Thousand Suns infantry unit within 6 inches can basically be taken off the table and then replaced somewhere else up to 9 inches away from the enemy, which technically is totally fine. GW said that people who start the game on the table can still be thrown around the table. They can do all the crazy psychic powers and everything. And so Dark Matter Crystal, you really see it predominantly with people running a 30-man Zangor squad with all the psychic powers. But just to be fair, Blood Angels have a really good one that you also see in the best list in the game. So, but the problem is I think what you're about to say is there's other people, like the Orcs can do it. Sure. Grey Knights can do it, but it really comes down to what combos do those other armies have versus these armies. Right now, you're telling me Blood Angels, when they do it, they can make their dudes ridiculous, and when Zangors do it, they can make their dudes ridiculous. So currently only 2 people really, to my knowledge, can do it at a high level.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, is all deep striking turn 1 is not created equal. That's left because Orcs at the end of the day still have to make a 9-inch charge. Grey Knights still have to make a 9-inch charge. And furthermore, no one has access to what the Zangors do, which is pick a 30-man unit up, not 20, not anything else, not single models, a 30-man unit up, pick them up, and then potentially in the same turn cast Warp Time on them.
Yeah.
So now they are 2 inches away from you.
Yeah, to go hard on it, it's going to be Warp Time Prescient, so they're going to be +1 to hit. They're going to move again. They're going to take Weaver, so they're going to take a Warp Invulnerable. You're going to try to cast Glamour. They're going to be -1 to hit. Yeah, if you're like playing it like the way I do, I'm going to throw a Boon on them. Maybe they're +1 Toughness. Maybe they're T5 suddenly. Maybe they're +1 Attack, +1 Strength. I'm going to throw 1 CP. They're going to be +1 to Wound. I'm going to throw another 2 CP. They're going to fight again. That's the combo, right? So because of all those things coming together, and only they have it, and then Blood Angels have come off the table, land again, 3d6 charge, no Overwatch, fight twice, multiple different ways, extra D3 attacks, +1 to wound. So like, there's really only 2 people who can do it. They do it in 2 different ways. One of them does it on a 32mm base and sneaks into a place and takes out a knight. One of them sneaks in, can also take out a knight, but also can clear like 100 infantry models. So
that's exactly. I just wanted to hone in one more second on this. Is the 2 units that utilize it potentially best, and we're just talking about turn 1 deep strike, and we're overlooking even potentially like the Shining Spears element that have quickening and soul bursting and everything else like that.
That's at a later point in this.
We're going to save, even though we could lump them in this turn 1 alpha strike, deep strike concept, we're going to lump them into a category later. But what I do want to hone in on is that these 2 units that abuse this ability the most do it in different facets of the game. You alluded to the Blood Angels having the 32mm base. It is so hard to defend against that, because you can kind of zone block someone out. You can kind of do things like that. But when you're telling me that you have to defend against a 32mm base at any point in time, that doesn't leave very much room for error. And also, Kenny, I'd like to touch on something that we haven't spoke about. It also leaves room for error for, in my opinion, the concept of sloppy play for opponents to just say, my intent to say, I am here. My intent is, I know I'm not going to move my models, but my intent is to play a perfect game. My intent is to zone block you out. My intent is this. It's easier when there's a 10-man unit or a 20-man unit or 30 Zangors to say, hey, my intent is to make sure this big ass unit can't do what I want. But it's a little more diluted, and the concept of intent doesn't hold the same meaning when you're telling me that you almost have to play, I won't say a Sean Naden perfect type game to potentially zone block out a 32 millimeter base the entire time. But in my also opinion, it's not acceptable to say intent. So I don't have to actually think about the game anymore. I just get to say that phrase to keep you from potentially kicking my ass with the 32 mil base.